Hi, this is Bob from WAMS Tech, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your grade books so that way you can be prepared for the bi-weekly posting of grades that happens here at the middle school. In the Google Drive folder for the middle school, and then in grade reports, you'll see the dates for posting grades. And so you'll see our first one here is August 29th, which is a Monday. Okay. And a reminder to include comments for students with averages below a C-, and we'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand here in the gradebook is that there's not going to be just a one-time creation of a progress report that gets sent out to parents. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to allow parents to access a live gradebook. The only thing is that we're not going to make the scores live until that date that's included in this Google document here. Okay, so our first one is August 29th, which means that all of our scores in our gradebook are going to be private until August 29th, when then we'll go through each of our score columns for that grading period and mark them as public. Okay, so then after August 29th, we'll create more score columns until September 12th. All of those will be private until September 12th, and then we'll make those ones public as well. Okay, so that's kind of how the process will be. In order to do that, as you see here, I have a couple of columns that I've created. If I were to add a new score column, we can go ahead and give the column a name, go to category, possible points. Okay, and you'll see that at the bottom here there are two checkboxes we need to be aware of: the count and averages and the shared public column. By default, one is checked and one is not. Both need to be unchecked until it's time for progress reports. The fact that the shared public column is unchecked means parents and students won't be able to see that particular assignment when they go to sign in. However, the count and averages box, when it's checked, means that even though that column or this grade here is hidden from parents and students, the grades I put in won't be. The grades I put in will still count towards a total average for the class that parents and students can see. So until it's progress report time, we're going to make sure both boxes are unchecked. And I'll click on Create Column. And now we can see I have a test column set up. That's private, according to the indicator, and according to this total score in parentheses, lets me know that this score is not counted in the final grade. You'll see that all of these columns have the same exact setting. They're all private, and they're all not counting in the final grade, which is why I don't see a class average here. I also see that there are not counted in an average 7 scores, because I have 7 columns that are marked as private. So that's good. Okay, come time for progress report, what you'll need to do is make these columns public, and the way we can do that is by going and right-clicking on a column, going into the name and details, and then checking the box to count and averages, and also shared public column, and then hit OK. The quicker way to do all this, obviously, would be to go through and select the icon here and confirm that I want to make it public. The final step after displaying all of your columns will be to override your grade with also the effort grade. So you see right here that I have a first quarter grade of a B minus, but maybe they had an excellent effort grade, right? I could do a control and select enter grade. And here I can manually select the grade as well as the effort. So I could say this was a B minus, but had excellent effort. And then I click select, and you'll see that it gets overridden with not only the letter grade, but also the effort grade. And you have to do that for each student. To add in narratives, what you can do is you can switch your gradebook view from name and average, what we see now, the name and average, to comments and narratives. When I select comments and narratives, I now, instead of seeing scores, I now see the narrative field. And so if any of these students have lower than a C minus, okay, I can go through and click on that narrative document and create a narrative for this student. And this can be edited for as long as it's the first marking period. Okay, so that's how you can enter in a narrative for each student. If you want to enter in a private note for each student that does not get sent out to the parents, what you can do is you can right-click on a student name and go to Private Memo. And I can type a private memo that's only for my eyes. The last thing is if you want to enter in a class memo that's for a general reminder for the whole class, I can go to Reports and then enter Class Memo. Okay, anything I type here will be set up as a class memo for the entire class. So any parent logging into this class will see this memo. So this could be a reminder. It could be just a notification of the next grade posting. It could be something along the lines of, oh, this class has a quiz that hasn't been factored into this grade yet. So whatever you need the parents to know, that's for the entire class. Okay, to switch back to your scores and columns, okay, you can go here to name an average. Okay, and then you can go and edit your score columns. Okay, since these ones are not ready yet, since it's not August 29th yet, I'm going to go ahead and mark these as private. And you do have to do it one at a time. I haven't found a way to do it all at once yet. Okay, the last thing teachers have asked is there a way for me to have both the scores and the narrative field at the same time? And yes, there is. Okay, what you can do is you can either start here, the name and average, or you can start at the comments and narrative. It doesn't matter which one. And then under template options, we're going to hit the ellipsis next to it to open up the template options menu. And we're going to do an edit. And so now we see the student name and the current marking period. And under the gradebook columns, you can see that we can drag a narratives over to this empty box here. And then we have to do a save as. And then we can name it as a new template, and we can call it scores plus narrative, or whatever you'd like. And then click on save. So now I can see my grades, okay, as well as this. And right now this is empty because these are all private and are not factoring into the average. Okay, the last thing you want to ensure before parents see the grades is to make sure that you look at the grades, make sure they look accurate. Make sure your weighting is set up correctly, right? One more time, you can go into grading from the left-hand menu here, go into weighting, okay, and make sure that if you are weighting your categories, that the box is checked and that your categories are weighted appropriately. Okay, otherwise it's going to throw off your scores. Okay, so that's it. So as a recap, every 2 weeks when it's time, according to the document, you're going to go ahead and make your columns public. Okay, and then any future score columns, you're going to leave them as private until the next posting grade date. All right, if you have any further questions, you can email me at robert.petito@woodward.edu. Thanks for watching.